TV from a mental health perspective. It's your boy Mark. Happy Friday. I hope your Fridays are going well. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I know I'm always on and off this thing, but the reason for that is just because I'm about to be on work hours right now. I'm going to be making a presentation, which is cool. It's the first time It's not the first time I've made a presentation for a company before, but it's the first time I have made a presentation as the head of a company to an extent. Not the highest position, but as the person who runs the day-to-day operations of this particular company. Yeah, so to me it's a little bit of pressure, but I don't know. I feel differently about pressure than I used to because public speaking used to be a huge pet peeve, I guess, or fear, I would say, more than pet peeve. Public speaking used to be a huge fear of mine, and in some ways I don't think I'm a natural public speaker. Like, I've seen natural public speakers at work where they're like, put me in front of any audience, 100, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, and I'm gonna be able to just rock the stage. Um, but I do tend to feel like I'm more of an advanced public speaker, even if I'm not the top of the top. Throw me anywhere. But I also tend to think I sit here and I do these speeches once in a blue, really, like once every year, once or twice a year. There was a time when I did it more than that. But if that was my full-time gig, I think that I could take speech classes and figure some new things out, and I'd be up there. I could be up there. I never doubt that. Like certain things are skills that are cemented and solidified with time. Hi, Bill. So, what I have to say about Big Brother, I did not watch a ton of the feeds. I started watching the feeds actually as soon as they turned back on in the morning because they just happened to turn on the feeds right when I woke up. And I saw one of the sites that I follow that said the feeds turned on 7 minutes ago. I'm like, great, perfect timing for me to get on here. Not really. The conversations were a little bit. I would have had to wait longer because I watched for a good hour and didn't get much info. But I can give you the main info. The main info is that Jimmy ended up winning the HOH. I know that people that he was in consideration of putting up, at least at the time when I fell asleep, Keanu and Amy. I'm not sure if he talked to Amy about it, but I know he was talking to Keanu, who was trying to get himself out of being on the block. Like, I was about to say again because it felt like a week that he was on the block, but he actually was not on the block. He was just acting as if he was. I read something about. Shoot, it slipped out of my head. Two people had powers. Kelly was one of the people who has powers, and I can't remember the second. There was two people with powers, but it seems like what they were saying was, I don't know. We don't have confirmation about the powers yet, but I guess somebody would have the power to take themselves off of the block. I think Friday is the day where they make the noms. So I think that everything is going to be clearer when we have the nom ceremony, and we're going to have a better picture. We're going to see where Jimmy's head is at. People are saying potentially that Rachel is at risk, and I think Rachel is always at risk, despite the fact that Jimmy and her I had this discussion. Who was he talking to? Jimmy was talking to somebody, and I want to say it might have been before the eviction, and then they were like, I want to say he was talking to. Oh, I want to say he was talking to Vince, and he was just like, I know that you and Rachel are close friends, so I would never do anything against Rachel. Those are like really baiting questions. I don't like, in general, I don't like even asking people questions like that, or people asking me questions like that. Oh, I know you're close to so and so I wouldn't say anything about them to you. Then why even say that? You're baiting me. You're baiting me into answering your question in a certain way to either confirm that this is the truth or to deny and be like, no, that's not my close friend. You know what I mean? I give people nothing when they say that. I've had people ask me things like that. Obviously not for Big Brother, but just in general. I know that you're close to such and such, so blah blah blah. This incident happened, but I'm not gonna really. I would never say anything bad about them to you. And I'm like, okay, then you don't have to. I'm not affirming what you're saying. But if you want to ask me something in a more transparent way, hey, can I ask you a question regarding such and such person? I'm not sure whether you and this person, maybe even to say it appears that you and this person are on the closer side. So would you be able to give me like a middle ground, unbiased opinion on such and such? I don't know. I'm big on. A lot of people think that I just don't answer anything, that I just keep everything to myself. But when you ask me a question in a way of, I already know the answer to what I'm asking, and I just want some confirmation from you, in a sense of, I gathered all this information without speaking to you, from whatever it could be, hearsay, or it could be gossip, or it could be third party, or maybe even your own observation, and you just gathered it and you're like, now I know what it is, and then you come to me on that. I'm not really there for the answer. I'm not really there to answer you at that point. I'm like, you know what, elementary, my dear Watson, you figured it out, so I have nothing more to add. I've done that before, where someone comes to me and says, I know all about you, Mark. I know this and I know that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I do that about other people, right? But here's the difference between... Alrighty. We're on here before... What time is it? 8:40. My presentation is in about an hour and 15. I'm not going to be on here from now until then. But yeah, just to summarize, Jimmy got sold. Jimmy got sold. You know where that movie is from? Dreamgirls. Jimmy's character was Eddie Murphy. Yeah, so Jimmy is such a wild card to me because he could do anything. He's so all over the place. It's just, Jimmy is just Jimmy. At one point, I'm looking at him and I'm like, this guy wants to be Paul. This guy wants to be Dan Giesling. He wants to be all these different guys rolled into one. And I'm like, well. Well. It's going to be an interesting week. I'll give you that. You that much. Week is going to be very interesting. We're going to see how everything shakes out. I'm worried about Rachel every week. I mean, I don't think Rachel is going to win. I said that already. I do not think that Rachel is going to win, but I want to see Rachel on my TV as long as possible because of the potential drama that she's going to bring. I hope that she at least makes jury. In terms of who I would like to win, there's not a super standout to me right now, but I would say I like Morgan. I still like Zach. Well, even though I'm like, Zach made me concerned. Zach definitely made me concerned about his life, about his big brother life. Because I'm like, why are you snotty tearing? You are snotty tearing for Zay right now. And I'm like, why? What happened within that week? Is it just overall the Big Brother game got to you? Because I'm not trying to make fun of somebody who's emotional, but it's just like, did he die? Like, what is it about? Is it about? Did you bond with Zay about something that we didn't see? I'm not gonna say that. I don't know. I personally am not that emotional of a guy, so maybe that didn't resonate with me. But I'm also not somebody who really suppresses my emotions anymore. I mean, I used to be. Can't I used to be someone who completely suppresses emotions, but I did 9 years of therapy, maybe more than that. I've done at least 9 years of therapy, right? So I understand being emotional about stuff, and I get that, but bro, it's week one. You've been there a week. If he was balling out like that week four, week three, even week four, at that point you spent a month together. And listen, the reason I can kind of understand if it was a month is because I've been in very intense work environments. And I was in an environment, let's say 2017, 2018, where I had an office, a shared office with two other people. And it wasn't like a big office where we all had our space. It was like a very small shared office with three people. And within that office, we spent 40 hours a week together. And it's not your average 40 hours with your coworkers that you're not in the office with. Because those ones you see, you pass by them in the hallway, you might see them in the lunchroom, you might have a few conversations here and there. Oh no, we're all in each other's space. And well, with one of my coworkers, we got pretty close. And with the other one, I got used to the other one. We were not close. I was happy when we were not in the office together anymore. But the point of all that being, I can understand like you're in with somebody for that amount of time, so many hours, and then you add in the fact that you live together. There's 17 of you using two showers and one bathroom or two bathrooms if you include the HOH room, and you sit around all day. There's no TV, there's no anything. And I remember Hannah and Tiffany in person at some points both describing what it's like to lose a friend. But it's just like all of that is not week one. That's not week one stuff. So I'm like, bro, you gotta hold a poker face or something. Maybe it boded well for him. I don't know. I don't like it because I'm like, you need to be like an Xavier where things were getting to him, but he had a beautiful way of compartmentalizing everything. I think the first time I saw him cry was when Alyssa went out. Before that, he held the crazy poker face, right? But maybe they're looking at Zach and they're like, Zach is good looking, Zach is athletic, Zach is very social, and everybody likes Zach. And he's potentially very good at comps. And so the vulnerability, who knows? Maybe the vulnerability is like, oh, he's human, and it might have helped him. But I don't know. I just know that if I was in the Big Brother house, my strategy would not be to be crying and snotty crying on the first week. I still love Zach, but come on, Zach, toughen up. You got a long way to go if you're trying to win. Which, by the way, I think that they said the finale night was like sometime in late September, and they had it clocked that official finale night date, which was September 27 or something like that. I think I don't. I'd have to look on my calendar. A second. I mean, I don't have it on my calendar, but let's see. Calendar. All right. A date that I saw was, oh no, it couldn't have been the 27th. Maybe it was the 25th. But anyways, I think it is in September, like late September. It might be. No, it's on a Sunday usually, right? Is finale night on a Sunday or a Thursday? Or Wednesday? I don't know. I'm getting this all mixed up. If it's a Sunday, then the date I saw was probably the 28th. That could be it. And they had that clocked at 83 days. So it's less than the last couple of seasons for sure. But anyways, that's my update. Thanks for joining me. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff to get notified of when your boy drops some more amazing content. Thank you all, and we probably have a lot to talk about this evening. Have a good one.